that I would use to describe Wilbert is a Japanese word, and it's subarashi, subarashi, wonderful, awesome, charismatic, fabulous. That's Wilbert in a nutshell.
Wilbert is always thoughtful. He'll always go out of his way to do something kind for others.
I think I would call him the sensei because he's lived his life, as far as I'm concerned, with a lot of character and integrity.
He is always super giving, always willing to help out somebody in need. Sometimes a little too generous in my opinion, but that's okay.
He's a kind person. I think everyone knows that. He's very, very patient. He has such a good heart, and he's probably one of the most down-to-earth persons I know.
Wilbert is like the big brother that I never had, and someone that would fight for me, would protect me. I could call him and he would always be there.
Wilbert Holck is a kind and thoughtful gentleman, always.
Gambate. Again, it means to look forward or move on, try your best, keep focused, do not give up. Those are all about Wilbert.
Wilbert has been our advocate, our supporter, our mentor, our warrior.
Wilbert is upbeat, positive, and genuine.
Wilbert is calm. I don't think I've ever seen him get angry or defensive. And sometimes I wish I had his calmness.
Whatever he's feeling inside, he never lets it show.
Wilbert has always been calm, resilient, but there are times that he can also look like this, which is definitely, he can be very stern at times.
Wilbert is very collaborative. He always asks for my opinions and my suggestions before making decisions.
When I think of Brother Wilbert, two things come to mind: Ninja Warrior and Iron Chef.
He used to do a lot of cooking for our staff meetings, make fried rice, oxtail soup, and all the good stuff like that.
Whether you're good or not doesn't matter. What he does is he'll mold you into somebody and make you the expert in the field.
Wilbert is a huge-hearted introvert. He likes people, and he's the nicest person I've ever met, but he does not like the spotlight.
The word I chose for Wilbert is good. He's a good worker, he's a good cook, he's an overall good guy, and even to some women, he's good looking.
I first met Wilbert in 2008 when I was appointed to be HSTA's chief negotiator. From day one, it was Wilbert who guided, assisted, and helped me navigate the new environment, system, and governance structure. It was very challenging and difficult acclimating to the new environment, but Wilbert was always there.
There were many times at HSTA where a crisis would happen. Wilbert would come into my room and close the door, and I would feel my heart rate go up. What was so important during those times is just the trust and respect that I had for Wilbert, that through all those crises, we were able to get through them. And at times when, it feels like the entire world is trying to knock you down, it was always just great to have Wilbert by my side.
The last contract I worked with Wilbert, I heard there was going to be some issues, and I called him and I said, Wilbert, I'm going to take over the negotiations. Meet me in the bathroom. And that's where most negotiations and sidebars actually occur, in the bathroom. Well, after the contract, we had a 98% approval rating. So again, it had to do with me trusting him and him trusting me.
When he said something, you really paid attention because, he brought that knowledge and experience with him, and I found that comforting.
Wilbert has always been incredibly kind to me from the very first time I met him on the bus to dinner at NEARA in Orlando. He talked about his daughter and how excited he was about her ballet career, and you could see how much he cares about his family, but that extends to other people as well.
I was going to get married, and we had family, my husband and I had family flying in from the mainland, and we were thinking of a place to have our kind of like our rehearsal dinner, welcome dinner for the family. And immediately his sister Dana goes, well, don't get a place. Don't spend your money on that. Just have it at my house. And then immediately Wilbert jumps in and says, well, I'm going to cook for you then. I'm like, I have like 80 people, or I don't know how many people, maybe 50 to 80 people. He said, I'm going to cook. Don't worry about it. Just tell your friends, your family, come on over and we'll have it all ready. And the next, I swear, that evening, there was just food flowing in from the kitchen. They were so delicious, the most delicious pupus I've ever tasted.
One time he brought me in some pickled onions and cucumbers, which I like. So I took it home and shared it with my 2-year-old daughter, who I didn't know if she liked that or not. And she tried them and had a huge smile on her face, and now always asks for food from Uncle Wilbert.
When I was first at HSTA, within like the first year or so, I got pregnant with my second son, and I was super stressed about it. I had this goal of wanting to try and give birth without medication. And so Wilbert actually, talked to me about meditation, and he actually took the time to burn a CD back when we did CDs for us. And he gave me this slack key guitar CD that I actually used during my labor, and it was really nice and helpful.
He was a counselor at Kaiser High School, became a UNICEF director, and then he finally he was recruited by the HSTA, the dark side. He became the deputy executive director, and then he came back, got to his senses, and came back to HSTA and became the deputy and now the executive director.
When I was serving as acting executive director, the position of deputy director was open. And Wilbert is a very humble guy. So I saw him as a leading candidate, but I wasn't sure he was going to apply. So I had to call him in, talk to him, tell him he'd be a good candidate. And he was actually surprised, but he did apply, and he did get the job.
Wilbert actually used to be a partner with David and Wilbert. They were like a team, just like my UNICERVs, Georgiana and Tootie. And my best memories were all the times we were in competition with each other, friendly, ridiculous, just absolute joy, doing hard work with a lot of fun added in.
So we worked together continuously up until the point that he joined HDEA. And even though he had gone to HDEA, he'd invite me to lunch and we'd talk over whatever issues that we needed to talk or just to pass the time. So Wilbert has been a great friend to me as well as a great partner.
One of the things that people in his district knew about Wilbert is that when a teacher got in trouble, they were comfortable talking to him, but the administrators were also comfortable seeking his advice on how to deal with the issue. So his advocacy was not angry advocacy, it was problem-solving advocacy.
I met Wilbert when I was his UNICEF director, and he was at Kaiser High School. He was an alternate learning teacher with all the bad kids, but he was fabulous. And when I resigned to go to work for the Oregon Education Association, they hired Wilbert to take my place. And I couldn't have been happier, but who would have thunk way back then that Wilbert would end up being the executive director of the Hawaii State Teachers Association? I think it's just fabulous and speaks a lot about his character and his wonderful skills.
Wilbert, I would dare to say, is the only educator who travels with a full set of chef knives. Wilbert cooked a 6-course meal for 20 people out of this little hotel kitchenette. They even had our favorite vegetarian, Phil Becker, cutting up protein, which he never ate. So it was amazing, just amazing.
Wilbert got involved in drinking sake, and at the time I think both he and Terry enjoyed sake a lot, so I thought I'd just share this with him, that when he's back in Hilo we can have the same bottle and see what happens.
What people don't know is Wilbert is a black belt in Kanji Kembo. I mean, this is judo, jiu-jitsu, and he actually started with a lot of the MMA fighters today.
He has no mean bone in his body, so I don't think you'll have to worry about him ever using any of his like karate tricks on you.
What people may not know about Wilbert is that he was kind of ran a little dark when he was in high school. And it is because of that he has a way different way of approaching tough situations and tough people, because those apparently were who he hung out with back in the day.
When he was an NEA trainer, we trained brand new UNICEF directors right after being hired. And in addition to training how to be good UDs, I forced Wilbert to teach them Tai Chi and massage therapy. Can you imagine a whole classroom full of these rugged, rough UDs doing Tai Chi? And here's Master Subarashi Wilbert right up front.
When we met, I saw a medallion or call an amulet that he wears that is circular. And I was sort of mesmerized by that. And I immediately knew, because of my own practices, that there's a very spiritual connection that Wilbert has in order for him to continue his work in the field.
When I first became HSTA president, I remember Wilbert came into my office and was telling me that, he forgot his anniversary. And I was giving him such a hard time. I said, Wilbert, you're working too hard. How can you forget your anniversary? And then my face sunk and I realized that my anniversary was 3 weeks before that. I totally forgot it.
Working with Wilbert was always the best of times, even in the worst of times. He was like a sensei. He was a good mentor.
I remember when we were doing negotiations with our staff organization in HSTA, that was the time when the elephant escaped, Tyke, at the Civic or the auditorium, and his kids were there. So I noticed he didn't panic. He was concerned. He didn't panic, but he left the meeting, made sure everything was okay, and he came back and he took care of business as usual. So he was really cool and calm in that kind of situation.
A lot of the work that I do is with human resources, and Wilbert and we do have a lot of conversations about things that he can do for staff. People don't see it. It happens in the background, but that is something Wilbert is really great at.
Well, I think people know that Wilbert has a pretty good sense of humor. What I think they might not know is that one of his favorite humorous movies is the Jackass series of movies. And he really enjoyed those.
Wilbert is an excellent cook. He loves to cook. And I love to go to his house and eat his cooking. So I take my family, and our families are close. I have a son and a daughter, and they grew up with Uncle Wilbert.
And what's interesting is anybody who had leftover rice would bring it to the office and ask Wilbert to make fried rice for them.
Wilbert makes the best poke. He calls it his poke supreme. It's unflappable. It's just fantastic.
I didn't know that Wilbert is colorblind, and so for his parting gift, I gave him a gift certificate so he could buy some of those Enchroma glasses so that he can see the light. And sometimes you can see on YouTube or on different video sites where people who are colorblind suddenly put these glasses on and look up and they start crying. It's just and I want him to have something like that, hopefully, when he gets his.
Wilbert Sanderson Holck Jr. is named after his father, the late city councilman Wilbert Sanderson Sandy Holck. Sandy Holck was in the 442nd Infantry Battalion and later was elected to the Honolulu City Council.
Many people may not know it, but he was one of the caregivers, or is one of the caregivers for his mom.
I'm a new mom, and during the pandemic, I have not had motivation to get active. So I had this Post-it note on my desk that said, "Walk at lunch." And Wilbert noticed it, and it's just been sitting on my desk for 2 whole months. And one day he just said, "Jamie, let's just walk." I've never had a boss or any coworker who has been so kind-hearted to want to help me with my personal goals.
I know that many who know Wilbert honestly can say that his teachings are still ingrained in our brain and our memory, and it shall last forever.
When you're trying all of those new recipes, don't forget that you've always got friends who are willing to be your taste testers.
Enjoy friends.
Eat all the chocolates and croissants and the wine that you want. You've earned it and you've deserved it.
You've affected so many future lives with your education and your help. Please enjoy it and appreciate what you've done.
I wish that you open up your restaurant. I think we've talked about that. We talked about him having his restaurant, or maybe that's our wish for ourselves.
We got to grow old together, and we're going to be in competition with our white hair. So you always better have more. I let you in that sense. Take care and enjoy retirement.
I am going to hold you to your offer that if we happen to go on strike, that you're going to be a voluntary picket captain for me.
It's nice to be able to have a weekend off, to not always be worried at, 8 p.m. During the summer that your phone call is going to ring with the next crisis, and just to be able to relax and enjoy it and enjoy the time being able to spend with your two daughters.
I know that Wilbert is not really ready for retirement, but if he is, I want him to remember this song.
Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed.
And when you can get to that place, Wilbert, then you really know that you're retired and can enjoy life to the fullest.
Thank you, Wilbert, for over 20 years of collaboration and friendship. Wow, 20 years. Now that you're entering retirement, do it with your loudest ki.
I always answer a call from Wilbert because he only calls what's important and he never wastes anybody's time. I very much appreciate the time I've had with him and wish him well.
Congratulations, Wilbert. I know you're going to be very busy still yet, but continue to enjoy your family, and I'll be seeing you soon.
Wilbert, I hope you get to enjoy every moment in that beautiful house with your beautiful family, and that you spend endless days cooking fabulous meals, and that you invite me.
I'm going to give him a conk on the head for leaving us. But in all seriousness, I wish you well, Wilbert. We're really going to miss you.
Congratulations, Wilbert. First thing I'd say is don't look back. And the next thing is whatever's on your bucket list, start working on it right away.
It's time to really enjoy life, relax, and not have to think about work.
He's already set for retirement. I don't think I need to give him any advice about retirement. He'll do it well.
I wish him the best. And hopefully he and I will be able to go to Japan together and have some fun over there.
Take it from somebody who's done it already. You need to stay active. Keep active and stay healthy. That's the key.
Well, Wilbert, you've made it to the promised land, someplace everyone wants to get to, which is retirement. I hope you have a grand old time out in France with your daughter, or around the world, or in Japan with your wife. And hopefully we'll see you around smiling ear to ear.
Welcome to the world of retirement. Remember, you do not have to do anything you don't want to do unless Terry tells you otherwise.
Wilbert, keep your knife sharp, your brain sharp, and keep surfing, buddy. Aloha.
To my brother, my friend, my mentor, my confidant, I just want to congratulate you on your retirement because you definitely deserve it.
I want to wish Wilbert all the freedom from the clocks that he's endured over 31 years in the profession, and joy, happiness, much aloha to Wilbert, always, always, always.
Aloha, Wilbert. Every bright summer we made wishes upon. Love me always.